Who are the 24 elders that stand before the throne of God, and what do they represent? In the grand cinematic vision of the book of Revelation, the atmosphere is thick with the scent of incense and the sound of thunder. Amidst the flashing lights and the living creatures covered in eyes, there is a distinct group that provides a sense of order and ancient wisdom: the 24 elders. To understand them, we must look at the specific blueprints provided in the biblical text, detail by detail. The primary description of these figures is found in Revelation 4 and 5. The text provides a vivid, physical, and functional profile. What are their position? They occupy 24 subsidiary thrones surrounding the central throne of God. This placement signifies a high rank. They are the inner circle of the celestial court. Have heard about their attire. Let me tell you, they are clothed in white raiment. In biblical symbolism, white represents victory and purity, often specifically the righteousness of the saints who have endured trials. Their accoutrements: each elder wears a crown of gold Stephanos. In the original Greek, this is the victor's crown awarded to athletes or soldiers who have triumphed, rather than a crown inherited by birth. They have tools of office. They are seen holding harps representing constant worship and music, and golden bowls full of incense, which the text explicitly identifies as the prayers of God's people. What do they represent? While the Bible does not name them individually like Peter or Moses, the number 24 is widely understood as a symbol of completeness and representation. Most biblical scholars interpret the 24 elders as a heavenly council representing the totality of God's people throughout all of history. The 12 tribes of Israel, representing the Old Testament era and the foundations of the faith. The 12 apostles, representing the New Testament era and the expansion of the faith to all nations. By combining them into 24, the story shows that the old and the new are unified. They represent the royal priesthood, the idea that humanity was designed to both rule the crowns and serve the incense prayers. Their purpose: the act of casting crowns. The most significant action the elders perform occurs in Revelation 4:10-11, when the 4 living creatures give glory to the one on the throne. The elders perform a 3-step ritual. They fall down. They abandon their thrones and their posture of authority. They worship. They acknowledge that they are not the source of their own power. They cast their crowns. They physically take the gold from their heads and throw it toward the central throne. This act is a powerful lesson in humility. The elders are there to show that even those who have reached the highest level of heavenly success recognize that their achievements, their crowns, belong to the one who gave them the strength to win the race. Why are they there? They serve as the interpreters of the divine plan. In the story, when the prophet John is confused or weeping because he doesn't understand the vision, it is one of the elders who steps forward to comfort him and explain what is happening. They bridge the gap between the infinite mystery of God and the limited understanding of humans. acting as the dignified royal keepers of the heavenly court. Beyond their role as a heavenly council, the presence of the 24 elders serves two specific scenarios or functional purposes within the divine courtroom. The cosmic jury and witnesses. In the ancient world, a king never sat alone in judgment. He was surrounded by a council of nobles. The elders are there to act as legal witnesses to the worthiness of the Lamb Jesus. When the scroll is brought forth in Revelation 5-9, they sing a new song declaring, "Thou art worthy to take the book." Their presence proves that God's judgment is not a hidden act, but one witnessed and affirmed by the representatives of humanity. They are the guardians of earthly prayers. They act as a celestial bridge. According to Revelation 5-8, they hold golden bowls full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. They are there to ensure that even the smallest prayer from earth is physically present before the throne of God. They represent the fact that the church triumphant in heaven is still intimately connected to the church militant on earth. Prophets and witnesses, visions of the heavenly council while. The most detailed description of the 24 elders specifically appears in the book of Revelation. The concept of a heavenly host or a divine council seated around God's throne appears in several pivotal biblical visions. John the Apostle, the Isle of Patmos. The rocky, desolate island of Patmos, where John was exiled, Revelation 1-9. John saw a door opened in heaven and is called up in the Spirit. He sees the 24 elders seated on thrones, dressed in white, with golden crowns, Revelation 4-4. He watches as they fall down and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, "Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power." Revelation 4:11. The message was one of sovereignty. During a time of Roman persecution, the vision showed John that regardless of earthly kings, there is a higher throne surrounded by a loyal council that recognizes only one true king. 2. Micaiah the prophet in Samaria. Near the entrance of the gate of Samaria, before the kings of Israel and Judah. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 10. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 19. In this encounter, the Lord consults with this council. They are not merely observers. They engage in a dialogue about how to handle the deceptive King Ahab. This vision provided divine truth over earthly lies. It proved that the decisions made in the heavenly council override the plans of earthly dictators. Daniel the prophet, Babylon, Persia. By the side of the great river Tigris during the Babylonian captivity, Daniel chapter 10, verse 4. Daniel describes the Ancient of Days taking his seat. He writes, "The thrones were cast down, placed," set up Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. Though Daniel focuses on the Ancient of Days, the mention of multiple thrones, plural, indicates the seats for the council, elders. He notes that the judgment was set and the books were opened, Daniel chapter 7, verse 10. The vision was about the end of earthly empires. It showed that a court was being held in heaven to strip power from beasts' corrupt nations and give it to the people of God. Isaiah the prophet in the temple in Jerusalem. Inside the holy temple in Jerusalem, Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. Isaiah sees the Lord high and lifted up. While he focuses on the seraphim, he later references the elders specifically in Isaiah chapter 24, verse 23, stating, "The Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion, and before his ancient elders gloriously." Isaiah's encounter is one of purification. He sees the majesty of the court and realizes his own unclean lips in the presence of such a holy council. The message was holiness and preparation. It served to commission Isaiah to speak for a king who was surrounded by a council of perfect righteousness. To understand the identity and role of the 24 elders, one must look at Revelation 4 and 5 as a single, two-act play. These chapters shift the perspective from the earth to the throne room of the universe, establishing who is truly in control of history. In Revelation chapter 4, the Apostle John is caught up in the Spirit and enters the heavenly realm. He describes a scene of overwhelming light and sound. A central throne occupied by a being who looks like brilliant gemstones. Immediately surrounding this central throne are 24 smaller thrones where the 24 elders sit. They are dressed in white and wear golden victors' crowns. 4 living creatures, angelic beings, cry out, "Holy, holy, holy," day and night. Every time they do, the 24 elders fall prostrate and cast their crowns before the throne. This chapter establishes creation. The elders sing, "Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory. For thou hast created all things," Revelation chapter 4, verse 11. Here, the elders represent all created beings acknowledging their Creator. In Revelation chapter 5, the mood shifts from celebration to a legal crisis. God holds a scroll sealed with 7 seals, the deed to the earth, and the plan for the end of the age. John weeps because no one in heaven or earth is worthy to open it. The elder's role. One of the 24 elders acts as the narrator. He approaches the weeping John and says, "Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah hath prevailed to open the book," Revelation chapter, verse 5-5. John looks for a lion but sees a lamb that looks as if it had been slain. This lamb takes the scroll. The elders fall down again, but this time they are holding harps and golden bowls of incense, the prayers of the people. They sing a new song about redemption. They declare that the Lamb is worthy because he was slain and has redeemed us to God by his blood, Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. Through these 2 chapters, we see that the elders are not just statues. They are active participants in the government of heaven.
By numbering 24 12 tribes plus 12 apostles, they represent the full house of God, every believer from the Old and New Testaments.
They hold the bowls of incense, meaning they are the ones who present the cries and prayers of humanity to God. They sit on thrones and wear crowns, but they use that authority only to point back to God. The story of the 24 elders concludes with a powerful message of surrender and hope. The elders remind the reader that no matter how chaotic the world seems, there is a heavenly council that is not worried. They show that the highest honor a human can achieve represented by a golden crown finds its ultimate purpose when it is laid at the feet of the divine. The elders stand as proof that humanity has a seat at the table in the heavenly realm. They are there to encourage the weeping world like John that the Lamb has already won the victory, and that every prayer offered in faith is preserved in a golden bowl before the throne of God.